Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of AEW Weekly Wrap Up. I'm your host, Ethan Black. Today, we're going to talk about the last week's Rampage, last week's Collision, and then the AEW shows from this week. Also, do previews for the upcoming AEW shows, and also tell us some Ring of Honor. So we'll just jump right into it. So we will kick it off with last week's Rampage. This is July 7th. So the dark match was Nyla Rose defeating Liza Hall. So the actual show opened. Oh, I'm sorry. My apologies. That was the Dynamite. That was last week's Dynamite, Dark Results. My apologies. So last week's Rampage is episode 100. Dark Order, Alex Reynolds, even on John Silver defeating the Humbugs, Eamon Page, and the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson. 12 minutes and 54 seconds. I just went 7 out of 10. I like this trio's match way better than their Dynamite one, but they did hit some help from Claudio Castagnoli and Kenosuke Takeshita. First of two quarterfinal matches of the Blonde Eliminated No. 1 Contenders Tournament. Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara of Jericho Appreciation Society defeating Jeff Jarrett and Matt Hardy, 7 minutes and 38 seconds. I just want 5 out of 10. So they will meet International Orange County Double in the semifinals. Hikaru Shida defeating Mary Sphere 3 minutes 31 seconds. And the main event, the final quarterfinal match of the AEW World Tag Team Title No. 1 Contenders Tournament. Ring War 6 minutes out of champ Brian Cage and Big Bill defeating Matt Sydal and Trent Beretta, 12 minutes and 24 seconds. This main event was actually really fun. I like the team of Cage and Bill. I also like the powerbomb clothesline later on combination star and Matt Sydal. But on this show, I recommend check out the opener main event. That's still and by the way, Kirishi and Shavir get a 5 out of 10. And we'll go to Collision. This is episode 4. So Dark Match Trios champion Brody King defeating Low Blay. So the actual show kicked over to semi-final match. Well, we had CM Punk probably talk about how Saturday Night's already fighting, talk about the Owen Hart Cup and how he's going to beat Samoa Joe. Good opening promo. And then semifinal match, the first of two. This is the men's side. Ricky Starks defeating Powerhouse Hobbs 11 minutes and 9 seconds via spear. So Ricky Starks punched his ticket to the finals where he'll meet either CM Punk or Samoa Joe in the finals. I just went 6 out. It wasn't a bad match. I liked their Rampage Grand Slam match a little bit better than this one, but it was okay. Julia Hart defeating Bambi Hall 2 minutes and 20 seconds. This was the substitute because they were supposed to have Will Nigo and Athena on the women's side. Due to Will Nigo getting injured on her tour with New Japan, they had to postpone it to the July 14th episode of Rampage, which I'll talk about a lot of stuff after the Dynamite review. AEW World Tag Team Title Eliminator match. Jay White and Juice Robinson of Bullet Club Gold defeating AEW World Tag Champions FTR, Dax Harwood, and Cash Wheeler 20 minutes and 10 seconds via Juiceless Lose on Harwood. This match ruled. This was a banger. I just won 8 out of 10. And since they Bullet Club Gold won, they do get a shot at the tag team titles. We get the return of Scorpio Sky defeating Ash and Drake 7 minutes and 28 seconds. In the main event, the final semifinal match of the men's Owen Hart Cup tournament. CM Punk defeating Ring of Honor television champ Samoa Joe 15 minutes and 33 seconds via roll-up. So CM Punk and Ricky Starks will meet in the men's finals. This will be on actually tomorrow's Collision, which I'll tell you when we get to that. Billboard episode 4, I say best one since episode 1. If I had to go in order, I say episode 4 would be number 1. Episode 1 be number 2. I'd probably say episode 3 be number 3. And then episode 2, I'd say episode 2 is probably the weakest one out of the 4 so far, but yeah. And then we go to Dynamite from July 12th. This is from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada. So 2 dark matches. We had Tyler Valkyrie defeating Abel Lawless and Kip Sabian defeating Jason Garner. So the actual show starts off with Chris Jericho getting the win over Commander by submission via Lion Tamer. 12 minutes and 50 seconds. I actually really enjoyed this opening match. I just won 7 out of 10. I did like Commander using the ropes to springboard. I think it was a shooting star person where the Jericho almost didn't catch him for. But I really enjoyed this opening match. I just won 7 out of 10. And Jericho was almost kind of like babyface on the show. But I really enjoyed it. And then after the match, John Callis comes out. He tells Jericho what a hell of a match he had. And he brings up how high their rating was in their segment last week. They did a faction by mentor the late great Bad News Allen, and then we got an old footage from their days together in Winnipeg. I think it's from 94, 95. 1995. That's what it was. I forgot what year it was for a second. That was how commentating over. It was kind of hard to hear what they were saying on the footage, but I mean, that was a video back in the 90s. Callis says they were like a couple of gods. He remembers this back in 95. And so has his hair, but Callis doesn't, which I did get a laugh out of that. Callis didn't keep their promise staying together, but Allen's up there and how what is on his face is possible Jericho joined the Don Callis family, and then he doesn't necessarily know that Allen wouldn't know what his answer wanted to be. Honestly, I kind of hope Jericho does join the Don Callis family. I really enjoyed this after match segment. I kind of like the last week one a little bit better, but overall, the first half an hour was actually really good. Then we head backstage. We see Alex Morris sitting next to a car that Jungle Boy Jack Perry's in, but he refused to get out. So he pauses out of the window, says on same work environment. Then we see FTW champion Hook, who's inside. He just attacks Perry, and then he tells him to keep running. I imagine we'll probably get in this FTW title match in the future sometime. But honestly, Jungle Boy's been good so far as a heel, but this thing was pretty much just almost a repeat of last week. Just instead of Jungle Boy jumping into the car, he's actually inside and locked himself in there, almost like a protest. We go backstage. We see Renee Pitt is with Don Callis, and she asks for his comment about what happened with Jericho. Then Callis said he'll go out later, basically announce the fifth member of the Blackpool Combat Club team for Blood and Guts. And then she asks him if he's concerned about Kenny Omega, but he said he's not afraid of Omega because he'll show his real colors, and he hides behind the skirts of the Young Bucks, which I don't know why I loved that comment. Then it was time for another edition of the Bro Session with AEW World Champion MJF and Adam Cole. They're taking shots at a bar, and he told Cole he hasn't been a team player and hasn't worn a shirt, but he said he lost and he's not BSing him about it. Also, we see four ladies walk by, and MJF's two for him, two for Cole, but Cole said they really love Spirit, so MJF basically goes away with the four ladies. He comes back, said to take the coaster's over. I forget what he said after that, but Cole say he'll put the shirt on if he doesn't let MJF. So they're playing AEW Fight for, which I gotta laugh at. MJF did not want to play video games, but Cole told him how good his stats were, and then they won the tag team titles in the game, but they were promised to win in real life, which I really enjoyed this. I hope these two stay together as a team for a little bit. I know the heel turn's coming, but I can't wait for this to happen. And speaking of the AEW World Title Number Contenders Tournament, we go to our first of two semifinal matches. This is International Champion Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin go against Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara of the Jericho Appreciation Society. And so JS does get the win at how this match went. So this match does go 12 minutes 55 seconds via GTH on Darby Allin. I actually really enjoyed this match. I just won 7 out of 10 as well. Actually, sorry, 6 out of 10. Actually, screw it, I'm leaving 7 out of 10. I did really enjoy this match. I like how Cassidy got him a mention drive for a 2 count. And then I like how I thought Guevara comes in, he was acting kind of like a baby. He showed him Darby Allin. Garcia had the Dragon Tamer. But actually, I really enjoyed this team of Darby and Orange. And then I like how Darby yells, "Oh shit," when he got hit with the house kick by Swerve Strickland. And then Guevara basically fell for GT, so they secured their spot in the finals. But honestly, I really enjoyed this match. But also, Excalibur did screw up. They said he kept saying the finals was supposed to be on July 29th at Collision, but no, it is actually next week. The graphic he's saying for next week in Boston, which he did correct himself after the other semifinal match. And then we get a field package on Nick Wayne, showing him training, talking about how he learned the wrestle from his father, Buddy Wayne, and found from his mother that his father passed away, but he wants to continue the family legacy. And he's ready for the pressure of wrestling on national TV. He's just been ready for his entire life. New professional was meant for him. Nick Gage, this is his first making his officially his AEW debut. He's been wrestling on the indies like DDT Pro Wrestling in Japan and GCW. That's where he did most. That's why I first seen him mid last year. Honestly, I really enjoyed these promos. And then we go backstage again. Renee it's with Adam Cole. And he's trying to conversation on the phone. Do we see Roger in his neck brace? Walks and asks Cole if he's starting like MJF. So he tells him to trust him before he gets text message. MJF after bumping to Brian Cage backstage, how he's now get the flu. So MJF walks up, tells him that he's not sick. And speaking of Brian Cage and Cole and MJF, we go to the other semifinal match of the Number One Contenders Tournament. AEW World Champion MJF and Adam Cole gets to win over Brian Cage and Big Bill at 10 minutes and 14 seconds via the boom on Brian Cage. Honestly, this match wasn't too bad. I just won 5 out of 10. I like how during the match they kept going for push-ups, and then MJF got the fans to get Adam Cole to do push-ups, and then Big Bill does. And then MJF tried to body slam him like Hulk Hogan and Andre at WrestleMania 3. And Adam Cole finally wore the tag team shirt, which I gotta laugh at. Honestly, it was a fun little match. It wasn't too bad. And then basically the match ends with MJF hit Cage with the Heat Seeker, and then Cole hits the boom. So they will face the JS in the finals, which it was kind of predictable. Then after the match, dig on the microphone, MJF asks if they did worships in the house. We get a same chant as MJF says he's super over before he tells Cole to do the thing. As the fans were chanting, do the thing, so Adam Cole does his pose. Then MJF's double closing will be coming as a crowd chants for it. And Canadian crowd, I'm kind of being biased because I am Canadian, but the crowd was really on fire during this whole segment. And then MJF said he didn't, Cole didn't think he would work, but now they have hiatus to win the blind eliminator tournament and get shot at the tag team titles, and instead they're going to look at the next world tag team champions. So yeah, that was overall good segment. And Renee Paquette is backstage with Jake Hager as he walks into Jericho's locker room as he's considering joining John Callis. Jericho says he doesn't know Callis is making a lot of good points, needs some time. He takes his purple hat, which he never did unless he was wrestling. Then he said he brought up how he saved his life in Abu Dhabi 10 years ago, and then 4 years ago when AEW first started, Jericho brought him into AEW. And he said until Jericho was straight with him, he could give him 100. So he gives his purple hat. Jericho walks away. Honestly, this is Jake Hager's best promo since coming to AEW, if I'm being honest. But we continue to John Callis' family story. And we go to our semi-main event match of the show. The first of two semifinal match of the Women's Owen Hart Cup. Ruby Soho gets the win over Sky Blue via No Future at 8 minutes and 47 seconds. Overall, this match wasn't too bad. I'm glad the referee threw Tony Storm and Saraya after Storm threw Sky Blue into steel steps. But it wasn't too bad this week as it was been over the last month. I thought Sky Blue had won a couple of times. I did like that No Future up the middle rope. That was a pretty cool spot. But Soho, for the second year in a row, goes back to the finals. If people forgot or didn't know, she last year in the first Owen Hart Cup, she lost to Britt Baker in the finals. So this year she looks to become the 2023 champion, but she'll face either Will Nightingale or Athena on Collision this Saturday in the finals, which there are spoilers, so we'll talk about, but I'll mention it later. Then we go back to the QTV shows a rap class by Hardy Cameron, and then Hardy Cameron raps about the Acclaim, and then after the rap was over, QT March climbed up the charts, and he was lost for words. I don't know. I've seen people online saying it was kind of cringy, and people were muting their TVs. I don't know. I didn't mind the rap. She did take a page out of Eminem's book with the Godzilla part, but honestly, it wasn't too bad, honestly. But honestly, I wish this feud be over. And the main event match of the show, Swerve Strickland gets the win over Nick Wayne, 10 minutes and 29 seconds via JML driver. I like how Darby came out halfway for the match, chanting Nick Wayne on, and then Swerve basically did the Pentagon Junior spot where he does a shoulder break, hits the house call for a 2 count, and then after big back for more action, Strickland is JML for the win, like I said. And honestly, out of the 3 matches they had, this is probably my least favorite of the 3. The one at the Vibe earlier in the show was really good, but overall, they're all been pretty good. And then main event statement, Don Callis comes out as he has something to say. He's announced the 5th member of the Blackpool Combat Blood Guts. He tells how real Kenny Omega's being a coward and a punk, which Omega does come out to the ring, but he gets blinded while Moxley and Takeshita. Then we get the return of Pac as he hits Omega with the chair, and he announced he is the 5th member of Blood and Guts. So they put the chair around Omega's neck. They were going to villainize his neck, but so Moxley asks Omega if he had any words. Omega tell him check the screen, as revealed, it is going to be Kota Ibushi is the 5th member of the Elite. Then we get back to the ring. Heyman Page and Young Bucks help Omega, and then Page said this ends once for all. And then Omega says Callis will never win this bout, and next week they're going to run forward. The barbed wire and skewers are not to compare what to do to him, and all 5 of them are done when Omega comes for Callis. To close out this week's Dynamite, honestly, this episode flew right, but I really enjoyed it. I just won 7 out of 10. But honestly, only matches I recommend checking out would be Jericho vs. Commander, the JAS vs. Cassidy and Darby match, and Swerve vs. Nick Wayne. So tonight on Rampage, this is going to be spoilers. If you don't want to listen to the Rampage card, just skip over 5-10 seconds. So we had Dustin Rhodes, Keith Lee, Natural Limitless, go against Matt Menard and Ninja Part of Jericho Preach Society, Titan match it. Tal Fagler vs. Izzy McQueen, Lance Archer vs. Trent Beretta, Kenosuke the Catcher vs. Mentello, and the final semifinal match of the Women's Own Hart Cup, Will Nightingale vs. Athena. Then on Collision on this Saturday, again, spoilers, skip 5-10 seconds for one of those matches. So, finals of the 2023 Owen Hart Cup, CM Punk vs. Ricky Starks. Finals of the Women's Own Hart Cup, Ruby Soho versus the spoiler is Will Nightingale. 2 out of 3 falls match for the AEW World Tag Team titles. FTR defends Bullet Club Gold. And Battle of the Belts is also this Saturday. Luchasaurus defends the TNT title against Shawn Spears. This also has spoilers, so skip ahead if you don't want to hear them. Tony Storm defends the women's title against Tella Valkyrie. And Orange Cassidy defends the international title against Lance Archer. And then next week on Dynamite, two matches made so far: Blood and Guts, Golden Elite, Kenny Omega, Heyman Page, Young Bucks, and Kota Ibushi. First Blackpool Combat Club, John Moxley, Reigning World Champion, Claudio Castagnoli, Wei Ryuta. Team of Kenosuke Kesha and Pac in the finals of the AEW World Tag Team Title Contenders Tournament. Jericho Priest Society's versus AEW World Champion MJF and Adam Cole. So that was AEW stuff. Then we'll do the Ring of Honor super quick. So we kick it off with Big Bill defeating Serpent to go up 4.5 minutes. Non-title match, Women's Team at the Abel Lawless at minute 43. 6-man tag team match with The Righteous, Dutch, and Vincent. Team up with Stu Grayson to defeat Evan Rivers, Levi Knight, and Michael Allen Richard Clark. 4 minutes and 24 seconds. Naylor Hirsch to beat Bainwood Hall, 3 minutes 15 seconds. First of two semi-final matches of the Television Title Contenders Tournament. Don Callis defeating Tony Nese, 8 minutes 11 seconds. And Shane Taylor defeating Sean Day in the other semi-final match, 6 minutes 47 seconds. In tag match in the Kingdom, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett defeating the boys, Brandon and Brent Tate, 8 minutes and 50 seconds. In the main event, non-title 6-man match. The NBC, the 6-man tag James Khan, Brian Cage, Toy Leona, defeating Chris Rodriguez, Davis Meyer, and Matt Sydal, 12 minutes and 4 seconds. Honestly, from this show, 8 matches, probably the shortest one in a while. Honestly, I just take out the main event. Honestly, that's the only match I can recommend from this show. And next week, on episode 21, only match made so far is the finals, Don Callis versus Shane Taylor. The winner meets Mojo at Death Before the Song for the TV title. And also on the show, we found Mark Briscoe has been injured, so he won't be competing on Death Before, so we'll find a replacement. But that is the AEW Weekly Wrap. I'm your host, Ethan Black. I'll be back next week to talk about the shows. Have a good week. Stay safe.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.